They're the world champions. They are the Nations League holders. They finished top of the group in the Nations League this year, and they have one of the most talented squads in the Euro.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of All About the W. Today, we are doing a preview of Group B of the Euros. Kai, you excited to talk about Group B?
I am. I am. I feel like if you take Spain away, I feel like it's an exciting group. Because
I
Spain are
love.
gonna. I mean, for multiple reasons. Listen, I don't have to
Yeah.
defend myself. So I said what I said.
You said what you said. Anyway,
Yeah.
uh, obviously, Group B has Belgium, Italy, Portugal, and Spain. It looks to be a really interesting group, apart from Spain, as Kai mentioned. Not for the same reasons I think Kai is talking about, but because Spain probably is slightly better than the rest of them. Before we begin our preview, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those wonderful things. Tell us how you feel about our Spanish, you know, hatred. I won't call it hatred, condescension. Um,
Yes. I
anyway,
roll. I was
eye roll,
Spanish. I
yes. Yeah. Anyway, we begin with Belgium. Kai and I constantly talk about how Nations League form isn't something you can bank on, but nonetheless, what has their form been like coming into this tournament?
um I think you know what? I feel like Belgium in the Nations League fared better than I thought they would. Honestly, I feel like they were in a really tough team with England, Spain, and Portugal. Like Portugal, like England and Spain are like a tier above, obviously, but Portugal aren't a bad team either. So, like it's one of those groups where you could either finish like third or fourth. So you really need to push to ensure that you don't get relegated. So Belgium therefore find themselves in the third spot. So they do have the option of the playoffs to stay up. So I think they did just enough. I think what I'm excited about is like how much they're sticking to their principles of just like being compact and then hitting teams on transition. I think that's something that's I feel like Belgium have been doing that for a little while, especially with like somebody like Tessa Woolard. But she's very, very pacey, she's clinical, she's somebody who leads that team. But it's just become even more pronounced and prominent under Elizabeth Gunnarsdottir. I feel like they've had like performances have not always been on point, because I feel like playing without the ball is always tough work. But I still I have been enjoying watching Belgium in the past uh, 6 months or so, especially since Gunnar took over. Yeah, I think they're going to be definitely an exciting team to watch. I think in a recent interview of Gunnarsdottir, I saw how she's talking about how much they want to focus on set pieces and things like that. Like they do have some, like you have, for example, the very tall Justine Van Havermaet who plays for Belgium. I mean, who plays for Everton and Belgium. We've seen Amber Tiziak as well score a couple of set piece goals in the WSL. So yeah, interesting mix of strategies they'll come up with, I'm sure.
Y- Yeah, definitely. I think lots of, like you mentioned, lots of key players that are ones to watch out for. Willard for sure. Yeah, totally. Like I think it all depends, like you said, on how the way Gunnar's daughter sets them up. Um,
Yeah. So I remember last year, like, in terms of key personalities in that team, like Bulat is definitely one of them. For example, like I think England beat Belgium 5-0 or 6-0 or something, and Bulat was not fit. And then she comes again, comes to play against them the next game and she scores a brace. Like she's been
yeah.
an absolute like nuisance for the English defense, but also generally. because she's just like hanging around, in between like the fullback and the center back, or between the two center backs. Like you need like a couple of players to keep an eye on her at all times. She's also somebody who drops in a bit deep to pick up the ball. So like a really, really tough player to manage. And Gunnarsdottir is somebody who was rumored to be like the next Chelsea manager when Emma Hayes was gonna when she said she was gonna leave. So like she's somebody I read up on a little bit. So I'm excited to see her on the touchline as well. In a major tournament, because the pundits seem to really like her. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think really like W manager for sure. Moving on to an, a personal favorite of mine, I think, a team that I'm quite excited about, Italy. What do you make of Italy's recent form?
I am very, very excited about Italy. Like their recent form has been, it's been decent. Like nothing too extraordinary, but like I really like watching this team play. I feel like there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of flair, and I feel like like the manager, they have a new manager. I think his name is Andrea Sonchin. Is how you say it. Like like the stark difference that I've seen under Sonchin is how much the players sort of express themselves. They play, um, you know, it's very fluid. It gives them the opportunity to kind of sort of, um, yeah, it's just you see every player being the best version of themselves. Does that make sense? Especially when
Yeah.
you have with as much flair as they do, and um, yeah, I feel like. Yeah, they finished second in their Nations League group, 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. It was a group with like Sweden and Denmark, so I feel like they are going to consider that a big success leading up to the Euros.
Yeah.
But I think recent performances wise, like I'm sure they're happy going into the tournament.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I mean, to be fair, the fourth team in that group was Wales, I think. So, I think two of those wins were against. Were two of those wins against Wales? I feel like they were,
Yeah, and
but
one maybe against Denmark. But hey, still, like
it
it
counts.
was
Yeah.
also, yeah, it counts. They
You
all
know,
count.
I was looking up the Swedish and Denmark performances for like the preview of the next group, and honestly, watching the highlights, I came away with an appreciation for Italy rather than focusing on either Sweden or Denmark. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for Italy's prospects. Who do you think
Yeah.
are like players that you definitely need to watch out for?
So one of my personal favorites, like I mean, I came across Manuela Giuliano a few years ago now. She currently plays for Roma. I really like Giuliano. I feel like the kind of energy she brings, she's a very, very creative player as well. She can crash the box. Yeah, I just really like her. I'm very, very fond of her. So I'm very excited to see that she's made the squad. Um, it's funny, like Girelli is like one of their most experienced players. Um, but when you look at Italy's recent game, she's also been the one, like, I think she's like 35, 36 years old. So she's been like scoring goals. And I don't think she's going to start games, but she's going to be an absolute weapon off the bench, I think. So another player that I'm really excited about is the defender, I would say, is Lucia Guglielmo, I think is how you say her name. I feel like she's
Guglielmo,
going to be
I
Guglielmo.
think.
Yeah, Guglielmo. Yeah. So I think she's somebody, again, who's impressed for Roma. I saw her a bit in the Champions League last season, and she's a lot of fun. And I feel like she slots in like different positions for Italy as well. Like if they Italy like play a slightly fluid system, like sometimes they play with a back three, back four, 3-4-3, 3-5-2. Really um, uh, like reason one of the reasons why I actually really enjoy watching them play. So sometimes she's fills in the slots into that like right side center back, sometimes right wing back, sometimes full back. So I feel like yeah, she's definitely another player that I'm excited to see. But the weird thing is, Italy haven't seemed to like. I don't know. I've not seen their full squad yet because the squad that I found is a 29 member squad. So as of now, I don't think they have announced a final 23 member squad, which is very weird. But yeah, the other person I think obviously I feel like in the last couple of years, a name that's been mentioned a lot, like an Italian name that's been mentioned a lot, is Dragoni, who is very young. I think she's 18 years old. I don't know if she's gonna make it to the 23 member squad, but if she does, it'd be nice to see her get some minutes as well.
Yeah, for sure. We always want the young players to get minutes. Yeah, the only reason I know the Guglielmo pronunciation is because the Spurs goalkeeper is called like the men's goalkeeper is Guglielmo Vicario.
Oh,
So I was
Vicario!
like,
I think it's in Vicario.
anyway,
Yeah.
moving on to the next team, we have Portugal, who we were just talking about in terms of their Nation League performance. What do you make of Portugal?
So this is where I'm gonna say, so it's this whole recording is really funny, right? Like because we've been relying on Nations League performances, but this is like one of those teams where I want to flat out reject their Nations League
Yeah.
performance. I want to be like it never happened because
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like this is a team with like a lot of position potential. I feel like you know like how they finished in the Nations League does not capture what they're about. They were in a tough group. They got relegated to Group B, whatever. It's fine. They had one win, one draw, and four losses. That's tough. Um, but I do feel like there's a lot of individual quality in that team. And, I feel like the problem with Portugal was like they lost Kika Nazareth and Jessica Silva at crucial stages in that Nations League. And, sometimes when you lose your talismanic player, you just like kind of fall apart, and I feel like that's what happened with Portugal, uh, or at least that's what I'd like to think. I feel like there is a lot, like there's a lot of quality in that team, which we will see in the Euros, is my prediction.
Yeah, for sure. I think I definitely agree with you on Portugal's potential. I think that they're a better team than their Nations League performance says for sure. Okay, we must now thread the eye of the needle, tackle the dragon of this group, that is the behemoth that is Spain. Kai, your thoughts on Spain, and please don't get us cancelled by the Spanish fans.
No, no, I won't. No, no, no. I have nothing in Spain. That's a lie. But Spain. I mean, they are definitely one of the favorites to win the tournament.
Yeah,
I feel like from like a talent perspective, but also from like a perspective of like their path to the finals as well. Given their draw,
yeah,
but you know what? I think you mentioned Ash to me that major tournaments are weird that way. Like if you have an easier path, like sometimes that kind of works against you in a major tournament. But yeah, I feel like yeah, Spain. I mean, what do you say about Spain? They're the world champions. They are the Nations League holders. They finished top of the group in the Nations League this year, and they have one of the most talented squads in the Euros. And I feel like, you know, like the only thing is, from a Spain perspective, we saw what happened at the Olympics. I feel like they could not manage their frustration because
yeah.
obviously, when any team plays Spain, they're going to play without the ball and they're going to try and frustrate you. So um, I feel like the Olympics experience has probably taught them that a cool head is very important, and this is true for.
Honestly, I don't know how much the Olympics experience has taught them because, there's this mentality thing, right? Like once you've definitely lost the Olympics, you're up for a bronze, right?
Yeah.
If if I was wanting fighting for my nation and I could win any medal, bronze, silver, gold, whatever the hell, I would be like 100% there. But for me, what happened is the minute Spain realized that they weren't winning, they just like shut off, shut off in that third place game. Like they just did nothing. And I feel like that's a mentality thing where they're not like any win is a win. It's like, oh, we lost, so it's fine. Like we don't
Yeah.
have to try hard anymore. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
don't know. I also feel like, I mean, the Olympics was also really weird because I feel like so many players just looked absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I get where you're coming from. I do, and generally, I don't think Spain played well in that Olympics. But yeah, I mean, could be. I mean, from like a mentality perspective, that could very well be true. I mean, um, yeah, I think the reality is that teams will try to shithouse their way to the final whistle and frustrate them, and hopefully, they have figured out ways of managing that. And unfortunately, with Spain, there is always drama. At least in the last few years, uh, Jenny Hermoso was left out of the squad of for the Euros. I feel like there's been a lot of chatter about that, because the decision itself seems a bit suspicious. Like, she's not had the worst season with Tigres, but at the same time, it does seem suspicious given what happened with the federation and Hermoso and the case against Rubiales, etc. But she's been left out of the squad. I think the last time she played for Spain was at the Olympics. So, yeah, I mean, make of that what you will. Tome said that it is purely from a selection standpoint of you, like standpoint and quality standpoint. But yeah, make of that what you will, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I even hate to ask this question about like key players to watch out for, key players, because like you could practically like say the whole team. But
Yeah.
uh, players, for what it's worth, Kai, players to watch out for.
Yeah, I'm excited for Mariona. I'm genuinely. I feel like mostly because it fits our Mariona for
Ballon d'Or
Ballon
for
d'Or agenda.
Mariona.
Yeah. So I mean, she's had a good finish to the season, right? Like winning the Champions League. She's probably. I mean, maybe she's not on a high anymore. Arsenal fans can't seem to get off that high, but I'm
Yeah.
sure she's off that high because she's a professional athlete. But uh, you know, I'm excited to see Esther because Esther, like, she is a very experienced player. She's been around the block quite a bit, but she's been playing really well for Gotham, and she's her form is coming. She's it's coming good at the right time, and I feel like that's another player to watch out for. Another player I'm excited to see is Claudia Pina. Obviously, she's had a really, really good season with Barcelona. As a Chelsea fan, I know the kind of damage she can do off the bench. She practically ended that Champions League run for us. So I feel uh, like Monse Tome probably thinks of her as like a super sub for this tournament. So excited to see Pina as well.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think is the most exciting game in this matchup?
Oh,
So, uh, you have Belgium, Italy, Portugal, Spain.
so I feel like Belgium, Italy has like the potential to be really chaotic. Um, I also feel like Belgium, Spain could be chaotic as well. That would
Yeah.
be funny, actually. I feel like Belgium, Spain might be really interesting. Like Spain lose the ball and then Tessa Bollard is just like running away with it. But
Yeah.
we've seen, I mean, in the Nations League, we've seen that Spain handled Belgium pretty well. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm excited to see Belgium versus Italy for some
Yeah,
chaos.
yeah. I reckon Italy versus Portugal could also be interesting. Just in terms of like Portugal's redemption arc, it might not be bad. Okay, who do you think makes it out of this group?
Okay, so for me, I mean, obviously Spain make it out. I don't think there's any way, any universe in which Spain don't make it out of this group. There is a little universe in my heart where they don't, but that doesn't matter. But I think selfishly, I want Italy to make it, because I just like them so much. It's so nice and
Aw.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it might be Spain and Belgium. I feel like I like Italy. I want them to make it out, but I don't see it happening. Let's see.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of our preview of Group B. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, leave your thoughts in the comments, and uh, te- tell us why Mariona Caldente is going to win the Ballon d'Or, or whether you think she isn't going to win the Ballon d'Or. Anyway, we will see you tomorrow with our preview of Group C. Bye bye.